India has recently increased its use of imported thermal coal despite a rise in domestic production. Good evening. I am Prashanjit Bhattacharya and you are watching BigMint's Market Update, where we will look at the coal and energy markets today. The country's thermal coal imports reached nearly 80 million tons between January and May 2024 compared to 71 million tons during the same period last year. This indicates a 12% increase year-on-year in thermal coal imports in just the first 5 months of 2024. But why is India using more imported thermal coal? To answer this question, let us try to examine the country's coal production and power generation needs. First, let's consider India's coal production. In the first 5 months of 2024, India's thermal coal production increased by 10% year-on-year to 445 million tons from 404 million tons in the corresponding period last year. India relies heavily on coal as its primary energy source. Approximately 80% of the country's total power generation comes from coal-based thermal power plants. Additionally, coal is regarded as the most affordable energy source. India's economic and infrastructural growth has significantly increased the onerous burden on energy consumption and domestic resources. Additionally, the country has been experiencing a sustained heat wave since the last week of April, with temperatures nearing 50 degrees Celsius in many regions. Recent power consumption figures clearly reflect this situation, and in the first 5 months of the current calendar year, India's power consumption reached 0.7 trillion units compared to 0.64 trillion units during the same period last year. Another key factor is the reduced contribution of large-scale hydropower in meeting the nation's electricity demand. Large-scale hydropower plants account for about 8% of India's total power generation. However, in the first 5 months of 2024, hydropower production fell by approximately 10% year-on-year due to erratic rainfall patterns and consequently low reservoir levels. Despite a slight increase in power generation from renewable sources, high intermittency and storage costs have reinforced the reliance on thermal coal. To maintain an uninterrupted power supply and meet high demand, power plants must maintain adequate coal stock levels. To meet the rising electricity demand, India is set to add 15.4 gigawatts of new coal-fired power capacity by March 2025. At the same time, the Indian government is aiming to completely eliminate coal imports by FY26, and to achieve the same, it will operationalize 20 new mines in the current fiscal year, including 12 with a total capacity of 58 million tons as a part of new government's 100-day agenda. India's story with thermal coal is a complex one. While increased domestic production offers hope for reducing dependence on imports, the surging demand and reliance on coal-fired power plants paint a different picture. The government's ambitious plan to eliminate imports by 2026 hinges on successfully operationalizing new mines and ramping up renewable energy sources. For this, we will have to wait and watch how realistic is the government's goal of eliminating coal imports. Till then, stay tuned as we follow this developing story and bring you the latest updates on India's coal and energy markets. By the way, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye.